And we are live. Let's see, guys. Let me know. Can you hear me? Let me know in the chat. Are we live? Are we up and running? Lewis says evening. Hello. And Luton says hello. I can hear you. VO2 says the same thing. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's see. Nice to see a couple of people joining. I just need to refresh my page. Have we got this up and running? Okay, beautiful, beautiful. I think we're up. I think we're up. There we go. Beautiful. Guys, how are we doing? Just finished the higher session, or the first higher session, I would say. And now we're into our second session of the evening, 7 until 8:30. Going to be doing some foundation revision. Just going to give people a chance to join. Mr. First Class Maths in the chat says, good evening. Good evening, my friend. Good to have you with us. Good to have you with us. For anybody wondering, we're going to be starting in just 5 minutes. Let's see. For some reason, I can't see on the channel the number of people on here. I don't know if it's glitching out a bit or what's going on. Just going to get my music on. Ah, there we go. Come on, come on. Now we're up. For anybody wondering what song I'm listening to, because I know there was a lot of questions before. Does anybody know the song Tinga? Tinga by Skibi. Anybody know it? A little bit of Afro beats in the chat. Anyone know a bit of a Sharkey? Maybe I'll come out with the my GCSE maths playlist. There's been a lot of requests for it. Just a few moments ago, we actually had 850 of us on the YouTube live for the higher stream. Let's see how many people joined the foundation one. I'm expecting probably a few less people than for the higher one, but let's have a look. Currently 500 over on the TikTok, 100 of us on the channel. Wonderful, wonderful. I think this is going to be another good session. For anybody wondering, we're going to be starting in just a couple of minutes. Starting at 5 past. KE said, is this good for higher too? I'll make a little, when it gets to 5 past, when everybody's joined, I'm going to speak a little bit about that. Well, whether it's good practice for higher students or not. AliX says hereafter higher 2. Come on, come on. Masaru Alibar says hello. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, it was too loud. I think the music was too loud. Okay, thank you for saying that, Armin. I think you could actually hear it just now. Oh, I think the mic setting might have changed. Shouldn't have. Maybe it's just that song. Jess said you can still hear it. You can't hear it now, eh? Let's see. Oh, you can hear it a little bit. Wait, can you guys hear the music? Let me know. You shouldn't be able to hear it. Maybe. Okay, good. Somebody said a little. I need to be careful on the copyright front. Okay, well, I think with this volume, there's no way you can hear it. Okay, good, good. We're chilling now. We're chilling. Okay, guys, 5 past. Let's get cracking. To anybody who is new, welcome. Hopefully, or probably a few more people are going to join throughout the session. To anybody who is new, welcome to the community. So, the format of these lives, for anybody who hasn't been here before, basically, I'll give you a bit of time to go through each of the questions, and then I'll go through the answers. Normally, the longer the question, the longer I'm going to give you to go through it. So for these 1 markers at the start, I'm not going to give you too long at all. Question number 1, let's have a look and see what we can do. Answers in the chat for me, right? 180 minutes in hours, team. What do we think? What do we think? A couple of people asking when the high is going to be. The next highest stream is going to be from 9 until 10:30 this evening. Rabia says 10. Egg says 10. Isla Reef says 10. Guys, if you said 10 for this first one, well done. You're absolutely right. So how can we think about converting 118 minutes into hours? Well, the first thing to know is going to be that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So then when going from 180 minutes into hours, we could either count up in our 60s to get 60, 120, 180, and we see that it's 3 times, or we could do 180 divided by 60. We could cancel the zeros on the top and the bottom and do 18 divided by 6. It's going to be 3. Nice work if you got that one. Next up, question number 22. Guys, let me know in the chat, 0.73 as a percentage. What do we think? I'm really hoping that I can sort this music out. Okay, just one click then. Okay, we're just going to have to roll. Okay, I can see a lot of answers in the chat for 73%. You are absolutely right. So 0.73 as a percentage. How are we going to do it? In general, to go from a decimal to a percentage, we're going to multiply it by 100. So we're going to do 0.73 times by 100, and this is going to give us 73 as our answer. If you got that one, good job. Good job, Morpheus, Somi. Good job, Faz. Good job, Jess. Good job, Sophie. Good job, Mariam. Good job, Autumn is back. Good job, Angelo. Good job, Amaze. Guys, question number 3. What do we think for this one? What's it going to be? Question number 3. Work out 10 times by 3 times, 10 times by, in brackets, 3 plus 5. Lots of different answers. I can see already, not going to give you long for this. The majority are definitely saying 80. Well done, Taran. Well done, N. Luton. Welcome back. Well done, Jess Smith. Guys, superb work. Let's have a look. So, what type of question is this? Work out 10 times by 3 plus 5. This is a BIDMAS question. This is an order of operations question. So, BIDMAS is an acronym which tells us that we have to deal with brackets first, followed by indices, division, multiplication, addition, and then subtraction. So, we're going to deal with our brackets first. We're going to do 10 times by. 3 plus 5 is going to be 8. So we have 10 times by 8. And that is going to give us 80. If you got that one, great work. Question number 4. Drop this one in the chat for me as well, team. Write down a prime number that is between 20 and 30. What do we think for this one? Daisy's in there with 23. VO2, good to have you on, my friend. Aurora says 27. Meta says 23. I've seen quite a few 27s actually. Interesting. So there are 2 possible answers for this one. 2 possible answers for prime numbers between 20 and 30. It is going to be 23 or 29. You would only have to write one of them. First of all, what's a prime number? A prime number is a number which has exactly 2 factors. The first, let's say 5 prime numbers would be 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. 2 prime numbers between 20 and 30 are 23 and 29. The reason that 27 is not a prime number is because we can write it as 9 times by 3, so it has more than 2 factors. Hopefully that one made sense. Question number 5 up next. It says, find the number that is exactly halfway between 7 and 5. What do we think, team? Okay. What are Marks? What an Avita, Autumn, Armand, Zeal, Zenid, Zai, Meda, Taran, Morpheus. What a name, brother. What a name. Alicia, Taran, Lily. Guys, if you said 11. You are correct. How do we know that it's 11? What's the best way to find halfway between two numbers? In general, the best way to find halfway between two numbers is going to be to add them together and then to divide by 2. So what we're going to do for these two is we're going to do 7 plus 15, which is going to give us 22. And then we can divide this by 2, 22 divided by 2, and that is going to give us 11. That is going to give us 11. If you got that one, nicely done. Moving on now to question number 6. 4 marks, I think. Yeah, 4 marks up for grabs in this one. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to give you a few minutes for this one, and then I'm going to go through it. Having a quick look down. Okay, things looking good. Things looking good. I need to not have the music too loud. Let me check. All good. Okay. Question number 6. Drop ready in the chat when you're ready for this one for me, guys. But let me tell you, please don't just wait for me to go through them. You are going to get by far the most out of this if you actually give the questions a go. If you're on the bus, if you're in bed, if you don't have pen and paper, at least for me, think about how you would do the question. Then you're going to get the most out of it. If you just wait for me to do the questions, it's going to be slightly less productive time. Still beneficial, don't get me wrong, but slightly less productive. Quite a few answers going in the chat. We have Aurora, we have Merrick Mida, we have Zomi, we have Merrick saying 750 as part of this. Very interesting. Let's have a look. The question says that Harry is planning a holiday for 4 people for 7 days. Here are the costs of the holiday for each person. We're told that the travel is £150, the hotel is £50 per day, and the spending money is £250. We're asked to work out the total cost of the holiday for 4 people for 7 days. Let's have a think about how we could do this. Well, we know that the travel is £150 a day. Or sorry, £150 per person. We know the spending money is £250. What can we do? Well, the first thing that we recognize is that £50 is each day. It's not the total cost, it's the cost each day. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do our 7 days times by our £50, and that is going to work out 350, which is going to be the total cost of the hotel per person. How did I get 350? Well, to do 7 times by 50, we can do 7 times by 5, which is 35, and then we add that 0 on the end. So where can we go from here? The next thing we can do is we can work out the total cost per person. So what we can do is we can take our 350 and we can add our 250 for the spending money, and we can add our 150 for the travel. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is going to be 0. 5 plus 5 plus 5 is going to be 15. Write in the 5, carry the 1. And then we're going to do 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is going to be 7, and we're going to get £750. Is our work done? No, it's not. Well done, Zeal Patel. You're exactly right. We're going to have to times this by 4. So this is going to be the cost per person. Now we're going to have to work out the total cost. We're going to do 750 times by our 4. Now, there's a couple of different ways to think about how to do this. You could do 75 or 750 times 2, which is 1,500 times 2 again. But I think this is going to be easiest for most people to do 75 times by 4 using the column method, and then to add our 0 on the end. So we're going to do 75 times by 4. 4 times by 5 is going to be 20. Then we're going to write in a 0 and do 4 times by 7, which is going to be 28. Next step, we can add those together. We can do 0 plus 0 is going to be 0. 2 plus 8 is going to be 10. Write in the 0, carry the 1, and we're going to have a 3 there because 1 plus 2 is 3. So this is going to be 300. But we didn't want 75 times 4. We wanted 750 times 4. So we're going to add another 0 on the end, and we're going to get 3,000, which is going to be our answer to this one, £3,000. £3,000. If you got that one, wonderful job. Quite tricky there for a question number 6. 4 marks up for grabs already. This, I believe, is probably going to be two markers. Okay. Or a two marker, I should say. Question number 7. Drop your answer in the chat for me for this one when you have it. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. So quite a few people asking whether this is going to be helpful for higher students. So this is what my advice would be. If you were with me for the previous higher section and you're planning on joining the later higher session, 9 till 10:30, then this could be really, really beneficial, kind of as a bit of like a productive break between those two sessions. Doing kind of the higher session and then more higher revision, and then another higher session, another high revision session, you might burn yourself out a bit. You might burn yourself out a bit. However, doing this foundation session in the middle, kind of as a bit of a break from the higher, could be really, really beneficial. You're still kind of being productive. You're still getting work done, but you're also kind of allowing yourself to recover for the later session. Okay, I can see quite a few answers going in the chat for this one. We have quite a few people saying 7. Let's have a look and see what we can do. The question says that in Adam's garden, the flowers are only red or white or yellow or blue. The chart shows the number of red flowers, white flowers, and yellow flowers. The total number of flowers is 30. Work out the number of blue flowers. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to use these lines to work out the number of red flowers. It's going to be 8. The number of white flowers is going to be 10. And the number of yellow flowers, it's halfway between 4 and 6, so it's going to be 5. Next step, how do we work out the number of blue flowers? Well, we can take these away from our total number of flowers, 30. So we can add them together first if we want. 5 plus 8 plus 10. 5 plus 8 is 13, plus 10 is 23. Now we can do 13 minus this number, which is going to give us 7, our number of blue flowers. Next up, part B asks for the mode. Asks for the mode. Let's have a look. Can anybody do this one? The mode? Which one is going to be our mode? What do we think, chat? Okay, we have quite a few answers going in. Torren says white, Merrick white, Ella white. Guys, fantastic work. You're absolutely right. What does mode mean? Mode means most occurring. So the way to remember this, mode is most, is this MO at the start. Which color comes up the most? Well, the color which comes up the most is white. Therefore, our mode is white. A really common mistake with this, is to think that the mode is 10. The mode is not 10. The mode is white. The frequency is 10, but the mode itself is white. Hopefully that one makes sense, guys. We're going to move on now to our next question. Question number 8, which asks us to write the following fractions in order of size. The following fractions in order of size. I'm just going to go through this one. And the reason is because I know it's kind of significantly easier to do if you have pen and paper. And a lot of you don't have pen and paper right now. A lot of you don't have pen and paper. A couple of people asking what the mean is and the median as well. So I'll go through that first. We say that the median is the number which, when we line all of our numbers up from smallest to biggest, is in the middle. So we can think of median as being middle. The mean is the number which we get when we add all of our numbers up and divide by our number of numbers. So for example, if we were working out the mean of these numbers, which would be pretty brutal, but technically we could be asked it, we would add them all up and divide by the number of numbers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers, so we would divide by 5. But back to this one, how do we write these in order of size? What we're going to do to write these in order of size is we're going to firstly rewrite them over a common denominator. What number should we choose as our common denominator? We're going to choose the number 12. Why are we going to choose the number 12? We're going to choose the number 12 because this is the number which all of our denominators go into. 3 goes into 12, so does 4, so does 2, and 12 definitely goes into 12, right? So we can write these all over 12. First off, writing 1 over 3 over 12. How do we get from the 3 to the 12? We times it by 4. So we're going to do the same to the top. 1 times by 4 is 4. How do we get from 4 to 12? We times it by 3. So we're going to do the same to the top. 3 times by 3 is going to be 9. Next up, how do we get from 4 to 12? We times it by 3 again. So we're going to times the top by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. The 12 we just leave as it is. How do we get from 2 to 12? We're going to times it by 6. So we do the same to our numerator. We're going to get 6. Now we can compare the numbers, writing them in order of size by comparing the numbers on the top. So we want the smallest first. We're going to have the smallest number here, 3 over 12, and we're going to write them in their original form. So we're going to write, instead of 3 over 12, we're going to write 1 over 4. Next up is going to be 4 over 12, so that's going to be 1 over 3. Next up, we have 6 over 12, so that's going to be 1 over 2. Next up, we have 7 over 12. And finally, we have 9 over 12, which was 3 over 4. Guys, if you... Oh, that was supposed to be a happy face. If you got that one really nicely done, well done, Angelina. Well done, Ella. Well done, Cavdizzy. Guys, great work. Great work. Okay. Question number 9 this time. 2 marks up for grabs on this one and 2 marks for the next one as well. I'm going to give a couple of minutes for this. Probably about a minute and a half. And then we're going to go through it. Just going to have a quick look how we're doing over on TikTok. Hey, very cool. Nice to see 700 of us on. Okay, very nice, very nice. Okay. The chat's way more respectful here, guys, by the way, than in the higher one. The higher one was going crazy. The higher one was going crazy. Izmir Aviator, definitely. Definitely. Okay, guys, drop ready in the chat when you're ready for this one for me. I would say this is a pretty tricky question, actually. Kind of a bit, catches you by surprise a bit. Arjun says, W, come on. Question number 9. Let's have a look. Quite a few people dropped ready in the chat. I see Magma with an answer. Isa Adil, Merrick as well. Autumn as well. Fantastic, fantastic. Let's have a look. Question number 9. This one says that Ruth left her home at 9 a.m. and walked to the library. She got to the library at 10:30 a.m. and she walked at a speed of 4 miles per hour. We're then asked to work out the distance that Ruth walked. So here it's pretty clear we have a speed, distance, and time question. What is the formula relating speed, distance, and time? We have speed is equal to distance divided by time, or if we like to think of this as a triangle, we have speed, distance, and time. So how are we going to work out our distance? Well, distance is on the top, so we're going to do our speed times by our time. What's our speed? Well, we can see that it's 4 miles per hour. And what's our time? Well, our time, we go from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. What's this in hours? Well, it's going to be 1 hour from 9 to 10, and then half an hour from 10 to 10:30. So it's essentially 1.5 hours, 1.5 hours. Next step, we need to do our 4 times by our 1.5. Different ways we could do this. We could either do it by doing 4 plus a half of 4, which is going to be 4 plus 2, which is 6. Or we could do 4 times by 15, which is 60, and then divide by 10 because we times that 1 by 10. So our answer to that one, guys, would be 6. Well done, Merrick. Well done, Ella. Well done, Emmy. Well done, Amaze. Superb work, guys. Superb work. Okay, the next part. The next part. Ruth got to the library for 10:30 a.m. and she stayed at the library for 50 minutes. She then walked home. She took an hour and a quarter to walk home. At what time did she get home? What we're going to do is we're going to add on these times kind of step by step. So we start at 10:30 a.m. We start at 10:30 a.m. and we stay at the library for 50 minutes. So I'm going to start off by adding 50 minutes to this. What's 50 minutes greater than 10:30? Well, 30 of those minutes are going to take us up to 11. And then adding 20 more, we're going to get to 11:20. So I just go like this, and then 11:20. So we used 30 to get to 11. We had 20 left over to take us to 11:20. Now what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to add an hour and a quarter to this. How are we going to do that? Well, let's start off by adding an hour. So plus 1 hour. That's going to take us from 11:20 to 12:20. And then we're going to add on a quarter of an hour. What's a quarter of an hour in minutes? Well, a quarter of an hour is going to be a quarter of 60, because there's 60 minutes in an hour. That is going to be 15 minutes. So we're going to add 15 minutes onto this. And we're going to get 12:35. Woof, how did we find that one, team? Kempy said 12:35. Good work. Please don't spam the chat, guys. Okay, Amelia Mills says W. Ella says, woo, come on, come on. Good work, good work. Okay, question number 10. 4 marks up for grabs on these ones. Pretty important questions. Very likely to come up in paper 1. If they don't, then they're definitely coming up in paper 2 or 3. These always come up, guys. Always come up. Good to have you back on the call, Tay. Fantastic, fantastic. Sharky Game says WWW. Come on, come on. Ella says woo. uh, okay, 10A, let's have a look. I've seen a lot of 4s in the chat. Question 10A. This one says solve t plus t plus t is equal to 12. Couple of different ways to do this. We could just think of this as, okay, what number do I add to itself a couple of times to get 12? But it's going to be better if we think of this in an algebraic way. So I'm going to do t plus t plus t, which is going to be the same as 3t. And then I'm going to have the equation that 3t is equal to 12. Now, how do we find the value of t? Well, we're going to divide both sides by 3 to get the t on its own. 12 divided by 3 is going to be 4. So we're going to have t is equal to 4. Next step, 10b says solve x minus 2 is equal to 6. How are we going to do this one? Well, when we have to solve an equation like this, we use the balancing method. What's currently stopping the x from being on its own? It's having a 2 subtracted to it or from it. So we're going to add 2 to both sides. 2 plus 6 is going to be 8. So we're going to get x is equal to 8. Well done, Ghost Yeet. Well done, Ella. Part C then, solve 6w plus 2 is equal to 20. What do we think for this one? Please don't spam in the chat, guys. Otherwise, you'll probably end up getting muted pretty quickly. The moderators are on it tonight. They're on it tonight. Okay. All right. Solve 6w plus 2 is equal to 20. I can see a lot of answers going in the chat. What are we going to do? This one says solve 6w plus 2 is equal to 20. We're going to start off by doing whatever we can to get this w on its own. We're going to start with the things which are furthest away from the w. So I'm going to start by subtracting 2 from both sides. That's going to cancel out this plus 2. We're going to have 6w equals 20 minus 2 is going to be 18. Next step, now what's stopping the w from being on its own? Well, it's being multiplied by 6. So we're going to divide both sides by 6. We're going to get w is equal to 18 divided by 6 is going to be 3. If you got that one, absolutely amazing work. We're going to move on now to our next question. Question number 11, a long multiplication question. Okay. Awesome. Guys, at this moment, we are now a third of the way through the paper, and I'm going to ask you for a huge favor. If you're finding this stream beneficial, I would really like to ask you for a favor. And some of you will already know I've asked for this before, but I'm going to ask again. If anybody could leave, or if you specifically could leave a Google review, I would really, really appreciate it. The only way that I'm going to be able to keep doing these social media lives for free, my current plan is to do it for the rest of the exam period, going live very, very often. The only way I'm going to be able to do it is if I get enough of these Google reviews. There's actually a link which has just been dropped in the chat, which I'm going to pin. And this is the link to leave a Google review. It takes literally like 30 seconds. I'm going to leave a little bit of extra time on this question, so people have time to leave a quick review. And like I say, it's the only way that I'm going to be able to keep doing the lives for free. To leave the review, you literally just click the link, which is hopefully the pinned comment, or you can find it in the description. If you're watching on the TikTok, you'll find it by going to my profile, and it's the link in my bio. And basically, you know, the selfless reason to do it is because it would really help me out. It would really, really help me out. Um, and yeah, it's kind of, kind of payback for me doing the streams. You know how we do. But the selfish reason to do it, if you don't care about that, which is fair enough, and you just want to do it for yourself, the only way, the only way that I'm going to be able to keep going with these live streams for free on social media is if I can get enough Google reviews. I even have the ads turned off on these lives. I don't make any money from it. So yeah, the payment, which costs you nothing, would be if you can leave a Google review. I'd really appreciate it. So you can either use the link which is in my bio on TikTok, or you can use the link in the description of the YouTube video. Or thank you, Taylor, for pinning the link there. If you could use that, that would be absolutely amazing. To anybody who has done it, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Emmy. Thank you, Magma. Thank you, Prince N. Thank you, Aurora. Thank you, Arjun. Guys, I'm really grateful. Thank you. Mass said 4.9 rating is crazy. Oh, guys, somebody's rated 1 star. People always do this, man. People always do this. How did that drop? Okay, quite a few people are trolling and leaving 1 star reviews. Guys, that makes it a bit more important to leave good reviews because we need to overpower it. We need to overpower it. I'm actually surprised. A lot of people have done that. That's so annoying. Anyway, whatever. Maybe I'll just not mention it. Maybe I'll not mention it. Okay, anyway, let's go through question 11. Let's go through question 11. Let's stay focused. Yeah, that's a little bit annoying actually. Oh well, whatever. Okay, work out 74 times by 58. 74 times by 58. This is a classic Edexcel foundation question in paper 1. This is our long multiplication. Let's have a look. So we're going to do 74 times by 58. 74 times by 58. What are we going to do? We're going to times each of our numbers on the bottom by each of our numbers on the top. And each time we go across a column, we're going to add in a 0. Let's get it done. So we're going to do 8 times by 4. That's going to be 32. And then we're going to do 8 times by 7. But because the 7 is a column along, we're going to add in a 0. So 8 times by 7 is 56. So we're going to have 560. Next up, we're going to do 5 times by 4, but because the 5 is a column across, we're going to write a 0 in. 5 times by 4 is going to be 20. And then we're going to do 5 times by 7, but because they're both a column across, we're going to write 2 zeros in. And we're going to do 5 times by 7. That is going to be 35. Now we can add together all of our numbers. So we're going to do 2 plus a bunch of zeros is going to be a 2. 3 plus 6 is going to be 9. 5 plus 5 is going to be 10, plus 2 is going to be 12. Write in the 2, carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is going to be 4, and that is going to give us our answer, 4,292. If you got that one, amazing job. We're going to move on now to question number 12. I'm not going to give you too long for 12A. Let's get this done. Let's get this done. A, B, and BC are perpendicular lines. Find the value of X. What do we think? What do we think? Our man says 40. Magma says 40. Monkey Man says 40. Issa says 40. If you said 40, well done. You are correct. Why is it 40? Well, what are perpendicular lines? Perpendicular lines are lines which meet at a right angle. They're lines which meet at a right angle. What does that mean? It means that this angle here in total, so the total is going to be 90 degrees. So what we can do is we can subtract those other two numbers. We're going to do 90, take away 25, take away 25. So 90 take away 50, which is going to be 40. If you got that one, fantastic job. Fantastic job. Moving on to part B. It says RS and TU are parallel lines. PQ is a straight line. An angle of size 125 is shown on the diagram. Write down the letter of one other angle that is of size 125. Now, there's a couple of different answers we could come up with here. I personally would go for B, and the reason is that it's opposite. The reason is that it's opposite, and we know that opposite angles are the same. We could also say that D is the same. So we could also say that D is the same, and the reason there would be that it's corresponding. So this is a classic angles in parallel lines question. Our corresponding angles are our kind of F-shape angles. So like this angle here and this angle here. So we could go with B or we could go with D. Next up, it says, Explain why A plus B plus C is equal to 235. Explain why A plus B plus C is equal to 235. What do we think? Why is A plus B plus C 235, guys? What do we think? Millie, exactly right. Great work. Superb job, Millie. Yeah, exactly. So we know that A plus B plus C is going to be 235 because we know that angles around a point add 2. Oh, let me go back to my pen. So we can say angles around a point add to 360. And 360 take 125 is equal to 235. We can see here that A, B, and C are all of the angles in addition to this one, which are around a point. If you got that one, nicely done. Moving on now to question number 13 and 14. 13 says, the length of a line is x centimeters. Write down an expression in terms of x for the length of the line in millimeters. Let's see what we can do. Anybody in the chat, what do we think? Okay, perfect. What do we think, guys? What's it going to be? Yeah, beautiful. Kaja, Autumn, and Luton, Mass, Ella. Yep, you're exactly right. Well done. It would be 10x. I just had to check something there, guys. Yeah, it would be 10x. Why would it be 10x? Well, how do we go from centimeters to millimeters? We might know that 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. Therefore, to go from centimeters to millimeters, we're going to times by 10. We're going to times by 10. Okay, next up, 14a. Drop your answer in the chat for this one for me. I'm not going to give you long at all. Work out 1/5 of 70. Work out 1/5 of 70. What do we think, team? 1/5 of 70. What's it going to be? Alpha Arzi says 14. Millie says 14. Magma 14. Isla 14. Tom 14. Guys, let's have a look. How are we going to do this fraction of an amount? When it comes to finding a fraction of an amount, what we're going to do is we're going to divide by the number on the bottom and then times by the number on the top. In this case, the number on the top is 1, so that's not going to do anything. All we have to do is do 70 divided by 5. Best way to do that is going to be bus stop method. So 70 divided by 5. 5's into 7 is going to go once, remainder 2. 5's into 20 is going to go 4. So we can see that it is in fact going to be 14. There we divided by the number on the bottom and times by the number on the top. Next part says Fiona has to work out the exact value of 48 divided by a half. She writes 48 divided by a half is 24. Her reason is there are 2 halves in one, so there will be 24 halves in 48. Explain what is wrong with Fiona's reason. What is wrong with Fiona's reason? Magma says 48 divided by a half is 96. And yep, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Yep, double to 96. You're exactly right. So different ways to do this. I would do it by actually just calculating it. So what's going to be the best way to do 48 divided by a half? Well, I would recommend rewriting the 48 as a fraction. So we can write it as 48 over 1 divided by a half. Now we can use, to divide one fraction by another, our KFC method, keep, flip, change. I prefer to call it copy, swap, flip. What we're going to do is we're going to copy the first fraction down, 48 over 1. We're going to swap the divide for a times, and we're going to flip the last one to 2 over 1. Next step, to multiply one fraction by another, we're going to do top times by top. 48 by 2 is going to be 96. And bottom times by bottom, 1 times 1 is going to be 1. And that is going to give us 96 as our answer. That's the way that I would recommend doing it, just working it out using our keep, flip, change. Okay, moving on now to question number 15 and 16. Let's see what we can do. Question 15a says, write down the value of the square root of 64. Drop this one in the chat for me, guys. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Nice to see quite a few people dropping answers in the chat. Man like Morpheus, ZKM, man like GK, man like Footbank, Zaffa. Good job, guys. You're exactly right. It is going to be 8. Why is it 8? Well, what does it mean to find the square root of a number? It means let me find the number which when I times it by itself, it gives that number. So here we're going to do 8 times by 8 is equal to 64. Therefore, the square root of 64 is going to be 8. What about this next one? For the value of 5 to the power of 3. 5 to the power of 3. Drop your answer in the chat for me. What do we think, team? ZKM says 125. IZ 125. Jack Miller 125. Zeal Patel 125. Yes, guys, well done, well done, well done. 5 to the power of 3. How are we going to do it? 5 to the power of 3. When we raise a number to the power of 3, what we're essentially doing, guys, is we are timesing it by itself and then timesing it by itself again. So here we're going to do 5 times by 5 times by 5 again. We can do 5 times by 5 is going to be 25. Then we have times 5. 25 times by 5 is going to be 125. And that is going to be our answer. If you got that one, beautiful work. Question number 16 up next. 2 marks up for grabs. Not going to give you long at all. Drop your answers in the chat for me. Question 16A and 16B. First up, expand 5 times by 2m minus 3. 5 times by 2m minus 3. Zeal Patel. I don't know why your name really stands out in the chat. Emmy, good work. Kovok, good work. Fantastic. Prince N says W. Yeah, let's get it going. Let's get it going. So what are we going to do? We're going to expand our brackets. We're going to do 5 times by 2m is going to be 10m. And 5 times by minus 3 is going to be minus 15. Now, what's the reason for this? When we have a number outside bracket, what it technically means is we do the number on the outside times each of the numbers on the inside. So 5 times by 2m, we're going to do 5 times by 2 to get 10. We're going to write it next to the m. And then 5 times by negative 3. 5 times 3 is 15. And then we can put that negative in front of it. 16b, factorize 3n plus 12. Drop your answer in the chat when you're ready for this one. Let's have a look. Magma's got an answer. Emmy's got an answer. Rabia as well. Kaja says, yo, yo. Okay, good work, guys. Let's have a look. How do we factorize 3n plus 12? When we want to factorize an expression, what we need to do is we need to look for what numbers go into all of our terms. Then what we can do is write that number on the outside. What goes into 3n and also 12? Well, 3 is going to be a number which goes into both. What do we times by 3 to get 3n? We times it by n. What do we times by 3 to get 12? We times it by 4. So we're going to get 3 times by n plus 4. 3 times by n plus 4. If you got that one, wonderful, wonderful job. Quite likely to come up, I will say. Question number 17. Read this one carefully. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. By the way, actually, if you're watching at the moment and you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. There's going to be loads of new people on here, I'm sure. If you haven't already, please like the stream. Please subscribe. And yeah, the reason to do it, I'm going to be live way more, loads more over the next few weeks, getting us ready for paper 2 and paper 3 after paper 1 is out of the way. I've also got an exciting announcement in a few days for like this kind of, I'm not even going to mention it yet, so I'm going to save it for the announcement. But guys, yeah, if you haven't, please consider subscribing already. If you're watching on the TikTok, please consider clicking that follow button up at the top. If you're new here, welcome to the community, My GCSE Maths. I'm going live a lot over the exam period, going through past exam questions, posting regular content to get you ready for your exams, Any questions, you can send me a DM and I will get back to you. Okay, question number 17 then. I've given a couple of minutes for this one. Let's have a look. 17. Stuart throws a biased coin 10 times. He gets 7 tails. Maxine throws the same coin 50 times and she gets 30 tails. Prasha is going to throw the coin once. Whose results will give the better estimate for the probability that she will get a tails, Stuart's or Maxine's. You must give a reason for your answer. Well done, Zeal. Well done, Issa. Well done, Maxine. Yeah, you guys are absolutely Maxine. Yeah, you know, good, good, the right person to reply to the question, eh? So yeah, the answer is going to be Maxine. The answer is going to be Maxine. Now, what's the reason? The reason is because she threw the coin more times. If you were asking two people about something and one person said, you know what, I've done it 100 times, this is my opinion, and somebody else said, you know what, I've done it 10 times, this is my opinion, who are you going to trust? You're going to trust the guy who's done it 100 times. So the reason that we go with Maxine is because Maxine, because, oh, not B-E-A, because she flipped it more times, or she threw it more times. Next up, part I use Stuart's and Maxine's results to work out an estimate for the probability that she's going to get a tails. Well, the probability of a tails, how can we do it? It says use Stuart's and Maxine's results. How do we work out probability? Well, we're going to do the number of times that we got that result out of the total number of times that we could have gotten that result. Let me say that again. The number of times we got that result out of the total number of times that we could have got the result. How many times did we get the result? Well, Maxine threw 30 tails and Stuart threw 7. So we're going to have 30 plus 7 on the top. And on the bottom, we're going to have, how many times did we throw it in total? 50 times Maxine threw it and Stuart threw it 10. So 50 plus 10, that is going to give us 60. So we have 37 over 60. Almost 40 said, thanks so much from all of us for the support and donated £2. Hey, thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. Or sister, I don't know. But yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, moving on now to question number 18. I believe this is a 4 marker, probably. Yeah, 4 marker. Let's have a look and see what we can do for this one. Yeah, Emma called me. Emma called me. Said, sister. Yeah, well, I said brother, so I had to flip it. Question 18. I'm going to give a couple of minutes for this one, and then we're going to go through it. It's an important one to give a go. It's an important one to give a go. If anyone's wondering why I'm bobbing my head, it's because I'm listening to music in the background. I'm not just like, you know, I can't even, you can't say much. You can't say much. Okay, somebody said stop. Wait, which exam board do you do? This one's at Excel, but it's very, very similar to AQA. Very similar to AQA. Giggle Goose said, so you got them moves. You ain't seen nothing yet, let me tell you. You ain't seen nothing yet. Okay. Merrick said, bro, it's tweaking. Oh, thank you, almost 40. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate that, appreciate that. Okay, guys, drop ready in the chat when you're ready for me. Drop ready in the chat when you're ready. And we're going to talk about this one. Quite an important question. Kaj just said, please dance. TikTok dances and YouTube dances ain't my thing, unfortunately. Okay, let's see what's popping. Question 18. The diagram shows a rectangular garden path. We can see it's 120 centimeters tall, 600 across. Wasim is going to cover the path with paving stones. Each paving stone is a square of side 30 centimeters. I'm just going to draw a little one on there like this so we can imagine it. And then it says each paving stone costs £2.50. Man like Wasim has £220 to spend on each paving stones in total. Sorry. show that he has enough money to buy all the paving stones he needs. Guys, what are we going to do? We are going to work out the total amount of money that Wasim needs and show that it's less than £220. So how are we going to do it? Well, the first thing to work out is going to be how many stones we need. So we know that each one's going to be £2.50. We can work out the number of stones that we need, times it by £2.50. So how can we do that? Well, the best way to do this is going to be to work out how many stones we have up and how many we have across. How many we have up and how many we have across. The way that we're going to do that is we're going to say, okay, well, how many times does 30 go into 120? Because that's going to tell us how many we can fit vertically. So we're going to do 120 divided by 30. And I'm actually going to write that as a fraction. So we're going to do 120 divided by 30. We can divide the top and bottom both by 10, cancel the zeros. 12 divided by 3 is going to give us 4. So we can fit 4 vertically. How many can we fit horizontally? We're going to do the same thing. 600 the width divided by each brick is stone is 30. We're going to divide the top and bottom by 10, cancel the 10s. 60 divided by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Add the 0, we're going to have 20. So we now know that we have 20 across and 4 up. So how many do we have in total? Well, if it's 20 across and 4 up, we can work out the total number by doing 20 times by 4, and that is going to give us 80. So we know that it's 80 stones in total. Next step, what are we going to do? We're going to have to times 80 by £2.50. So we're going to do 80 times by £2.50. A couple of different ways to do this. I'm going to split this up into 80 times by £2 and then 80 times by 50 pence, and we're going to add them together. So we're going to do 80 times by £2. That is going to be £160. And then 80 times by 50 pence. 50 pence is half of a pound, so we can half our 80. That's going to be 40. So working out our total cost, we can add them together. 160 plus 40 is going to be 200. So the total cost is 200. This is less than £220. So this is less than 220. Therefore, we know that Wasim can afford to do up his garden. Very nice, very nice. Lucky Wasim. Okay, 5 seconds to screenshot if you would like to. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 19. Question number 19. And I'm going to need to be a bit careful because my voice is starting to get a bit strained. I'm going to do a quick little pace poll as well, guys. We haven't done one in a while. The little pace poll is just going to be start a poll. How is the pace? How is the pace? How is the pace? Would you like me to speed up? Would you like me to slow down? Or would you like me to keep the pace the same? Oh, I think I just posted it. Beautiful. I just set up the poll, guys. If you could please get back to me, that would be absolutely amazing. I am going to be going with the majority. I'm going to be going with the majority. Work out the value of 2/3 minus a fifth. Let's get this one done while we're here. What's it going to be? Work out 2/3 divided by a fifth. How do we do one fraction, subtract another fraction? What we're going to do is we're going to start off by rewriting them over a common denominator. So we're going to look for a number which 3 and 5 both go into. These both go into 15. We could do that, or we could work it out by doing 5 times by 3. How do we get from 3 to 15? We times it by 5. So we're going to do the same with the number on the top. 2 times by 5 is going to be 10. How do we get from 5 to 15? We times it by 3. So we do the same with the top. 1 times 3 is 3. Next step, what are we going to do? We can do our top, take away our top. Now that we have the same number on the bottom. 10 take 3 is going to be 7. So we have 7 over 15 as our answer. If you got that one, wonderful job. Part B says work out 2 over 3 times by 3 over 4. Give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. Nicely done, Ella. Nicely done, Emmy. Nicely done, Softly. Merrick Saram as well. Great work. Zeal, good work. Twinkle Hearts as well. 2 over 3 times 3 over 4. What's it going to be? To multiply one fraction by another, we're going to do our top times by our top and our bottom times by our bottom. Top times top, 2 times 3 is 6. Bottom times bottom, 3 times 4 is 12. Now what we can do is we can simplify. Dividing the top and bottom both by 6, we're going to get 1 over 2, and that is going to be our answer to B. And Luton said, Matt, go get a drink. Hydrate, bruh. I do need to, low-key. I'm glad you said that. I'm going to put the next question on, and I'm going to take a little sip. Thank you for looking out for me. Okay, moving on to question 20. 3 marks up for grabs in this one. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. To anybody who's higher, who's just chimed in, I'm going to be doing another higher live stream this evening from 9 p.m. until 10:30, our final preparations for tomorrow. Thank you, Tay. Thank you. You could see that I was just checking it, eh? Wicked. Okay, question 20. Matthew said, hey, can't go wrong with some Evian water. It is my favorite water brand, I will say. It is my favorite water brand. And I'm actually getting into something called hydrogen water as well. Hydrogen water as well. Sherry said, why can't you be my teacher? I have an evil teacher. I can't lie, Sherry. I had a lot of evil teachers in my time. That's partially why I'm doing this low key, because let me tell you, you don't want the maths teachers that I had. I had a couple of good ones, but I also had a couple of absolute nightmares. Actually, guys, I've got a question for people in the chat. Where do you think I'm from? I'm going to ask this question and then I'm going to go through the question real quick. But yeah, where do you think I'm from if you were going to guess a place? This is only going to take 20 seconds. I'm just curious because a lot of people are asking me in the chat. Super interesting. Nigeria. Maybe. Okay, we got a bunch of mixed opinions. Okay, Newcastle, London, Germany, Scandinavia, Ireland, Denmark, South Africa, Pakistan, Cambridge. Yeah, okay. I've picked up a bit of an accent from my time at uni. I think because a lot of my friends are from different countries from when I was at uni. But I'm actually from the UK. I'm from Derbyshire. Derbyshire on the map. And then I went to uni in London. So that's where I picked up a bit of a weird twang, let's say. A bit of a weird twang. Okay, question 20. Drop ready in the chat when you're ready. I wanted to give a while for this one because it does take some thinking about. It definitely takes some thinking about. Are we ready? Magma says India. Sharky Games Hong Kong. Now we're just going crazy, guys. Now we're just going crazy. Okay. Cherry's ready. Magma's ready. Ebin's ready. Let's have a look at this one. The question says, here are two squares A and B. The length of the side of square A is 50% of the length of the side of square B. Express the area of the shaded region of square A as a percentage of the area of square B. So the first thing that I'm going to recognize is, well, if the length of side A, of square A is 50% the length of side B, then we'd actually fit 2 of these squares in like this. So 2 across, 2 up. So if the lengths are 50%, each of the height and the width are both going to be 50%. So we essentially have this square A being equal to a quarter of B. Now I can take one of my quarters and shade it in like A. So I'll take this one and I'll shade it in. From this perspective, it's pretty easy to see that if I divided my entire shape into these regions, there would be 8 of these regions. So let's do, so across diagonally like that. So if we divided the whole shape up like that, we'd see that it would be 1/8, which is shaded. So 1/8 there. The other way to think about this is you could use example lengths. So you could say 20, 20. Well, actually, let's go for 10, 10 and 20, 20. Then you could work out this area. It would be 10 times 10 over 2, which is 50. And then you could do 50 over 200 times 200. So 50 over 400, which is the same thing, 1 over 8. So that would be the other way to do it, would be making up lengths. But it's going to be easier there, in my opinion, if we just draw it out and see what's going on diagrammatically. Okay, moving on to question number 21. Shall we do this one? Shall we do this one? Okay, you know what? For this one, I'm just going to go through it. I'm just going to go through it because you kind of need pen and paper to do this one. And I don't want people to be skipping it, or leaving or whatever, just because they can't do it. So I'll just go through this one. Let's see what we can do. The question says there are 40 students in a class. Each student walks to school or cycles to school or gets the bus to school. There are 22 girls in this class. 9 of the girls walk, 7 of the boys cycle, 6 of the 10 students who get the bus to school are boys. Find the number of these students who walk to school. We can see that we've been given kind of 2 categories of information. We've been given whether they're boys or girls and whether they walk, cycle, or get the bus. So we're going to create a nice little 2-way table. So we're going to have walk, we're going to have cycle, we're going to have bus, we're going to have total. On the vertical axes, we're going to have boys, we're going to have girls, and we're going to have total. We can, it's quite hard to draw lines on here, but let's give it a go. We can connect these like so. And now we have a beautiful 2-way table. Let's see what we can fill in. We know that there's 40 students in total in the class. So we can write a 40 down here in total. We know there are 22 girls. So the total number of girls, so in the girls row is 22. We know 9 of the girls walk to school. So in girls walk, we're going to have 9. Next step, 7 of the boys cycle to school. So 7 boys cycle, we can write that one in there. Next up, 6 of the 10 students who get the bus are boys. So 2 pieces of information there. 10 students get the bus in total, 6 of them are boys. So we're going to have 10 students get the bus, 6 of them are boys. Where can we go from there? Well, that is all of our information filled in. We can start filling in some gaps. First thing that I'm going to spot is that I can fill in this gap because I know 6 boys get the bus and 10 people in total. So the number of girls who get the bus is going to be 4 because that was 10 take away 6. Next step, I can see that I have this gap here. I know I have 22 girls in total. I have 4 who get the bus and 9 who walk. So I can do 22 take away 4 is going to be 18. Take away 9 is going to give us 9. Next step, I can work out my total number who cycle. 7 plus 9 is going to be 16. Next up, I can work out my total number of people who walk. Why? Because we have 40 people in total, 10 who get the bus, 16 who cycle. So we can do 40 take away 10 is 30. Take away 16 is going to be 14. Next step, I can work out this gap here, boys who walk. I can do total number who walk minus girls who walk. 14 take 9 is going to be 5. Next step, total over here is going to be 18. What was the actual question? It said find the number of students who walk to school. So it's going to be this one down here. Total number who walk is going to be 14. It's going to be 14. If you got that one, amazing, amazing job. Tough question. Well done, best content. Well done, Ina Santil. Well done, Emmy. Well done, Elna. Well done, Ella. Guys, awesome work. Awesome work. Okay, we're going to move on. Question 22. Let's have a look at this one. Guys, I just realized question 20, I didn't convert it to a percentage. Okay, you got to read the question carefully, and there's your thing. Okay, this is the thing which will make me say, or this is the example which was obviously deliberate, which every teacher ever said. I actually just didn't read that it said give it as a percentage. Express the area of the shaded region as a percentage of the area of square B. Really good shout, guys. That was my bad. Didn't read it properly. I just saw your comment, Ren. And anybody else. So thank you for picking me up on that. So how do we convert 1/8 into a percentage? How do we convert this into a percentage? Well, the best way to convert a number into a percentage is to write it as something over 100. Something over 100. Then we have to decide, well, okay, if I'm going to do that, what's going to be the best way to write this as something over 100? I'm going to see that, what's the best way to say this? Actually, we can come back over here. You know how we had 50 over 400? Can't remember the context. Oh, actually, we had the 1/8 there. So basically, we're going to scale this up to something and then scale it back down to 100 on the bottom. So first of all, I'm going to times the top and bottom by 50, and that's going to get it back up to 50 over 400. So if we had 1/8, we could just times this by 50 over 1, or by 50 over 50, we get it up to 50 over 400. 50 over 400. Then what we can do is we can simplify this to get a 100 on the bottom. So I'm going to start by dividing top and bottom both by 2 to get a 200 on the bottom. I'm going to get 25 over 200. Then I'm going to divide top and bottom both by 2 again to get a 100 on the bottom. 25 divided by 2 is going to be 12.5. And on the bottom, we're going to have 200 divided by 2 is going to be 100. Now we can read our numerator, 12.5. That is going to be our percentage. So we have 12.5%. So we have 12.5%. Nicely done, guys. If you did get that one, and thank you for picking me up in the chat for explaining how to convert it into a percentage. Okay, question 21 we also did. 5 seconds to screenshot this one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on now to question 22 properly this time. Properly this time. I can see the chat has been kicking off a little bit. Let me know. Did that one make sense? Well done, Ryan. Well done, Softly. Well done, Tarun. Well done, Nathan. Well done, Magma says W. Come on, come on. 2 marks for this one. Question 22. What do we think? What do we think? It says the number of red cubes in the box is the same as the number of yellow cubes in the box. Complete the table. And we were told in the previous bit that there was only blue cubes, red cubes, or yellow cubes. How are we going to do this? Well, we can do this using a combination of 2 things, actually. So firstly, we know that the number of red cubes is the same as the number of yellow cubes, right? So what that means is that the probability of red is going to be equal to the probability of yellow. The probability of red is going to be equal to the probability of yellow. But how can we work out what they're going to be? Well, we also know that our probabilities have to add to make 1. So we can do 1 minus 0.2. That is going to give us 0.8. And that is going to be the red and the yellow added together because they're the same. All that we have to do now is divide this by 2. And we're going to get 0.4 as our probability for red and yellow. If you got that one, really nicely done. Actually, not too bad, I would say, if you know your probability stuff, but definitely not easy as well. Next up, Part B says there are 12 blue cubes in the box. Work out the total number of cubes in the box. Work out the total number of cubes in the box. Let's have a look. How are we going to do it? Well, what do we know? We know that there are 12 blue cubes, and we know that the probability of choosing blue is 0.2. We could think of that as a 20% chance. We could think of that as a 20% chance. Now, how's that going to help us? Well, if there's a 20% chance of choosing blue, it means that 12 cubes is 20% of the total number. 12 cubes is 20% of the total number. Ren says times by 5. Millie says 60 cubes in total. Well done, Ren. Well done, Millie. You guys are smashing it today. Yeah, so how are we going to work it out? Well, we don't need 20% of the total. We need the actual total. What's our total? Well, it's 100%. How do we get from 20 to 100%? We can times by 5. So we're going to do our number of cubes, 12, times by 5 is going to give us 60. So 60 cubes is 100% of the total. So the total number of cubes is going to be 60. It's going to be 60. Guys, if you got that one, wonderful, wonderful job. Well done, Sarah. Well done, Isla. Well done, Tarun. Well done, Lil Fan I7. Nice work, nice work. Okay, next up, question number 23. How many have we got left? How are we doing for time? 20 minutes. Okay, let's go through 23. Then I'm going to be a bit strategical in the ones that I choose. I do want to go through 27 and 28. I think actually we'll have time for the whole thing. I think we'll have time for the whole thing. Okay, question 23. Let's have a look and see what we can do. Tarun said, yes, sir, we have time. Maybe I'll speed run a few questions in a row, and then we'll definitely have time. I'm going to have a quick little bit of water, and then we're going to go through question 23. CBA said, thank you so much. Gee, I was going to sleep, but I've seen this vid. Come on, come on. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Let's get it done, my friend. Ella said, hydration break. Exactly, exactly. Emmy said, I need mine. Yep, guys, if you haven't for a while, go grab some water, get refreshed, get hydrated. We want our brains functioning on max capacity, max capacity. Question 23. Should we go through it? Let's go through it. The question says that Dion needs 50 grams of sugar to make 15 biscuits. She also needs 3 times as much flour as sugar and 2 times as much butter as sugar. Let's go ahead and work out how much she needs. So 3 times as much butter as sugar. So we're going to do 50 grams times by 3. It's going to be 150 grams. 2 times as much butter as sugar. So 50 grams times by 2. And that is going to be 100 grams. Next step. Dion is going to make 60 biscuits, work out the amount of flour that she needs. Okay, well, this was to make 15 biscuits, right? So we need to work out how many times we need to make these 15 biscuits to have a total of 60. So we can do 60 divided by 15, which is going to be 4. So we could think of this as 60 over 15. We could divide the top and bottom both by 5. That's going to give us 12 over 3. And then divide the top and bottom by 3. We're going to get 4 over 1. So it's just 4. So we know that we're going to need to make this recipe 4 times. How much flour she needs? Well, our flour, that was this 150 Gs. So we're going to do 4 times by 150. 4 times by 150 is going to be 600. You could do that using column method. We could do 4 times by 15, add that 0 on the end. So yeah, 600. That's going to be our answer to this one. The next part says Dion has to buy all of the butter she needs to make 60 biscuits. She buys the butter in 250-gram packs. How many packs of butter does Dawn need? Well, first off, how much butter do we need? Well, we said it was 100 grams, but we need to do this 4 times, right? So we need 4 times by 100 equals 400 grams. So how many packs do we need? Well, how many times did 250 go into 400? The multiples of 250 are 250, 500, 750. So we can see that if we buy 2 packs, we're going to have enough butter. 2 packs is going to take us up to 500. We can't buy, half of a pack, right? So it's going to be 2 as our answer. Okay, nicely done for that one. Question number 24, highest common factor of 72 and 90. I'm just going to go through this one. Because, yeah, just in the interest of time, I want to give you a little bit more time on the harder questions, which are to come. This one, not saying it's easy, but it's a little bit nicer than a couple that we're going to do. There's a couple of good problem solving, good practice ones to come up. Highest common factor of 72 and 90. 2 methods. We could either write out the factors of 72 and 90. So go 1 and 72, 2 and 36, 3 and 24, etc., etc. But I'm going to use a systematic way. I am going to use the Venn diagram method. The Venn diagram method is going to involve doing a prime factorization of both of our numbers. So we're going to use a prime factor tree. 72 can be written as 36 times by 2. We're going to circle the 2 because it's a prime number. 36 can be written as 6 times by 6. Circle them both. No, I don't know why I said that. I didn't mean that. What I meant was circle neither of them because neither of them are prime. They can both be written as 3 times by 2. And we're going to circle those because those are prime. Now we're going to do the same for the number 90. So we can split this into 9 times by 10. Neither are prime. 9 can be split into 3 times by 3. Circle them both because they're both prime. And 10 can be split into 5 times by 2. We're going to circle them both because they are both prime. Next step. What's the next step of the Venn diagram method? Well, we're going to draw a Venn diagram out like so. We're going to write one of our numbers on the left, our 72, and our 90 on the right. All of the numbers which are factors of both of them, we're going to write in the middle. So we have a 2 in both of them, so we're going to write that in the middle. We have a 3 in both of them, so we're going to write that in the middle. We have another 3 in both of them, so we're going to write that in the middle. We have left over 2 2s for the 72, so 2 and 2, and a 5 for the 90. Now we have it written in a Venn diagram. What can we do to find the highest common factor? We're going to multiply the numbers in the middle of the Venn diagram. So the factors of both of them. We're going to do 2 times by 3 times by 3. 2 times 3 is 6 times 3 is 18. If we did want to do the lowest common multiple, we would have to times that. So we basically have to times all of the numbers in the Venn diagram together. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5, which is going to be 420, 200, whatever it's going to be. I think 320. Okay. Yeah, so actually, I'll work it out. So it would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. Well, we already worked that actually, let's just go through this. So 2 times 2 times 2 would be 8. 3 times 3 would be 9. And this is just a 5. Next up, we can do our 8 times by our 5. That's going to be 40. And now 40 times by 9 is going to be 360. So yeah, it was 360. So that's how we would do the lowest common multiple if we wanted to work that out. In this case, all we had to work out though was the highest common factor. Okay, this question I'm just going to go through. It says the diagram shows the plan, front and side elevation of a solid shape drawn on a centimeter grid. In the space below, draw a sketch of the solid shape. This is going to be a cylinder. It's going to be a cylinder. How do we know? Because looking down from the top, that's what plan means. It's going to be a circle. From the front, it's going to be a rectangle, and also from the side. So we can draw out a nice little cylinder. Can sketch as best as we can. Bosch. We're going to have a diameter on the top of 4 centimeters. And we're going to have a height of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a height of 5 there. Your sketch does not need to be perfect, not an art exam, but it does need to be clear that you know it's a cylinder, and crucially, you do need to write those measurements on. Okay, moving on now to 26. We are going to skip this one just for time. 27 and 28, these are probably going to be our final 2 questions. Yeah, we might come back to 20 to that other one if we have time, but for now, 27 we're going to do. This is 4 marks, maybe, yeah, 4-mark question. So I'm going to give a few minutes to do this, and then we're going to go through it. Okay. Looking at the chat, let's have a look. Talk to me, guys. How are we feeling ahead of tomorrow? I'm going to give a few minutes to go through this question. So it's going to be a nice little opportunity with me looking at the chat. George Leaf said, "What YouTube vid do I watch next?" I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. If you mean after this live stream, I would recommend chilling, to be honest. I would recommend chilling. I'm going to mention a little bit about this at the end, but it's getting quite late now. So sleep is going to become the priority. If you do want to keep revising, I'm sure there will be other live streams on. But if you don't want to do a live stream, I think the GCSE Maths Tutor, I think that's what it's called, has like a everything you need for Foundation Paper 1, I think could be helpful. Oh, CBA said, "Nah, I'm staying up all night, 5 rebels." So let me tell you as well, there is a small group of students who that is actually, don't drink Red Bull, but who that's not a bad strategy for. Um, that is the students who have done no revision. So if you have done no revision whatsoever up until this point, then doing an all-nighter or at least staying up quite late revising is not a bad idea. Because if you've done no revision, you've not actually remembered anything yet. So there's actually nothing to kind of recall with the stuff that you already know. However, if you have done any revision, any meaningful revision at all, like few past papers in school, at home, revising at home, then absolutely the priority is recalling the information that you have in your head already, as opposed to cramming more and more information in, which is why I would recommend resting. Okay, let's have a look. Question 27. Drop ready in the chat for me when you're ready for this one. And we're going to go through it. Question 27. Personally, I think this is a horrible question. Really badly worded, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Okay. Let's have a look. The question says, a shop sells packs of black pens, red pens, and green pens. There are 2 pens in each pack of black pens, 5 pens in each pack of red pens, 6 pens in each pack of green pens. We're told that on Monday, the ratio of the number of packs of black pens sold to red pens to green pens is 7 to 3 to 4. A total of 212 pens were sold. Work out the number of green pens sold. So part of this is a classic ratio question. It's a proportional division question, right? It's like we work out the total number of parts, divide the total by the total number of parts, work out the size of one part, and bosh, we got our answer. However, there's a part before that, actually, which is we don't currently have our ratio of pens, do we? We have our ratio of packs of pens. So the first thing to work out is going to be our ratio of pens sold. So not packs of pens, but actual pens. How are we going to do that? Well, to work out the ratio of pens, we're going to do the number of the packs in the ratio times by, sorry, the number of pens in each pack times by the number of packs in the ratio. So let's write this out. We're going to have blue to red to green. So blue to red to green. For black pens, we're going to do 2 pens in each pack times by the 7 in the ratio. So it's going to be 14. To red, we have 5 pens in each pack of red pens and 3 parts in the ratio, so 15. And now for green, we have 7 pens in each pack and 4 packs in the ratio, so it's going to be 24. So what we've done there is we've worked out the ratio of pens as opposed to the ratio of packs. If you're a high student, by the way, this is absolutely a high question as well. Next step, we need to do proportional division. We need to share this 212 pens in this ratio to work out the number for green. A couple of different ways to do this. I would recommend finding the total number of parts first. So the total number of parts in the ratio is going to be 14 plus 15 plus 24, which is 29 plus 24, which is 53. Now what are we going to do? We're going to do our 212 divided by 53, and that is going to be the number of pens per part. So we're going to do 212, the total number of pens, divided by 53, the number of parts. That's going to give us 4 pens per part. Now, working out the number of green pens, how many parts green do we have? We have 24 parts. How many pens per part? We have 4. So we're going to do our 24 parts times by our 4 pens per part. 24 times by 2 is 48. 48 times by 2 is 96, giving us 96 as our answer. If you got that one, absolutely amazing work. 5 seconds to screenshot. Very tricky question there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question 28. This is going to be our final question of the session. Final question of the session. Guys, let's finish on a high. Problem solving for days. We have a 4-mark question involving 2 rectangles. Tarun says, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, team, what do we think? What do we think? Final question of the day, question 28. What's it gonna be? A couple of people saying this question is horrible. It is a tough question. It is a tough question. Hopefully, though, it makes sense after we go through it. Thank you very much, Rishi Kohan. Okay, okay, okay. All right, all right, all right. What's it gonna be? George Thomas says, run it up, run it up. Okay, question number 28. Team, let's get it done. A couple of people asking when the highest stream is. The next highest stream is going to be starting at 9. Let's get this one done. Here are 2 rectangles. We have ABCD and PQRS. We're told that QR is equal to 10. Oh, let me switch to my blue color. So QR is equal to 10. That's going to be the length between Q and R. We're told that BC is equal to PQ. So let's write an X in there. So PQ is equal to BC. We're told that the perimeter of ABCD, so this one here, is 26, and that the area of PQRS is 45 centimeters squared. Just one. There we go. 45 centimeters squared. We're asked to find the length of AB, so this one here, I can call it Y for now. So the perimeter of this is 26. If I know X, then I can work out Y, and the reason is because these two are going to have to add with these two to give 26. So step number one, let's work out X. How are we going to do it? Well, we know that the area of PQRS is 45 centimeters squared. We also know that to work out the area of a rectangle, we can do base times by height. So we know that X times by 10 has to be 45. To work out the value of X, then, we can divide both sides by 10. We're going to get that X is equal to 4.5. So now we have this length here, 4.5. It's going to be the same as this length here, 4.5, and the same as this length here, 4.5. We know that this one is also Y. So where can we go from here? Well, we know that the perimeter of this is 26. In other words, 26 is equal to Y plus 2.5 plus 2.5. That's not 2.5, didn't mean that, I meant 4.5. So plus 4.5 plus 4.5. Next step, let's simplify this and solve it for Y. So 26 equals Y plus Y is going to be 2Y, and 4.5 plus 4.5 is going to be 9. Next step, subtract 9 from both sides. We need to work out the value of Y, so we're going to use rearranging. We're going to move the plus 9 first. We're going to minus 9 from both sides. 26 minus 9 is 17, so we have 17 equals 2Y. Next step, we're going to divide both sides of our equation by 2, because Y is currently being multiplied by 2. 17 divided by 2 is going to be 8.5, giving us that Y is equal to 8.5, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be our final answer to our final question of the session. If you got that one, congratulations. Give yourself a little pat on the back. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Having a quick look at the chat. Somebody said lovely stick man. Autumn said, yep, I drew it and then I realized it was really not a lovely stick man. Okay, Arjun said W stream. Thank you so much, guys. Now, the thing that we do at the end of every stream, if you're new, welcome to the community. I'm going to be doing these lives over the rest of the GCSE maths period. What do we do at the end of every stream? From anybody who's a regular, we throw a party. So I would like you to spam the chat full of as many emojis as you possibly can, but only good vibe emojis. We want dancer emojis, disco emojis, party emojis, lightning bolt emojis, anything good vibes you can come up with, and we are going to get the chat popping off. Guys, let's run it up. 600 of us. This party should be insane. Now, why do we throw this party? Guys, please participate. Spam the chat full of as many emojis as you can. Good on you, Nathan, Michael, Pepe, Gigi, Caden, Taylor, Emmy, Kayla, Tam, Megicius, Alpha Arzi, Aesthetic Charisma. Come on, come on. Bobby Brown, Eamon, Binos, VO2. Guys, the reason we do this is because it's very important over the GCSE period, especially before the exams, not only to do the work, but to appreciate the work that you're putting in. There's been many months building up to this, lots of stress, there's pressure from teachers, pressure from parents, pressure from ourselves. You have to pass to get into this college, you have to pass to do this course. There's lots of pressure. It's absolutely crucial that over this time period, we also take at least 1 minute or at least 10 seconds, or 30 seconds to appreciate the work that we're putting in. So I would like you to close your eyes for me and give yourself a little pat on the back. Hopefully you'll smile, and hopefully it wasn't just me that did that, looking stupid. If I can do it in front of 1,000 of you guys, please, you can do it in your bedroom or wherever you are. It's really important to do. It's really important to do. To anybody who's going to be joining the higher stream later, it's going to be starting at 9, because I've seen a lot of questions about that. I think I said, why is everyone spamming emojis? Things we love to see. Things we love to see. Okay. It's because we throw this party at the end. We throw this party at the end. But yeah, guys, the final message from me, if you're doing foundation, is going to be good luck for tomorrow. Good luck for tomorrow. Go out there, give it your best shot. At the end of the day, It's now 8:30, the day before the exam. You have a couple of different options. I'd say 3 options, really. Option number 1, stop revising now, go watch Netflix, chill out, and prioritize getting into a good headspace. If you've been doing your revision over the past few months or few weeks even, I would recommend this option. If you've been revising up to this point, I would recommend using tonight to chill as much as you possibly can. I know it's hard, but you want to prioritize having a good mindset and good energy for tomorrow. If you're saying, you know what, I'd love to do that, but I just can't chill because I really want to do some more revision. I know that I should chill, but I'm going to be doing more revision either way. Then I would recommend doing tops another hour of revision or whatever. Tops another hour of revision. Go to bed at about 10 if you can, or even earlier if possible. Have some time to chill before bed, not on the social media platforms. Maybe Netflix will do, but not on the socials. If you're in the third group of people who has not done any revision, if this is the first revision you've done before your GCSE maths, hopefully it will be very few of you. But if it is, do your thing, stay up all night, do your revision, cram, cram, cram. At the end of the day, if you've not done any revision up to this point, you probably don't know too much. And if you don't know too much, it's going to be like the Tesco sing, every little helps. So if you are in the group who has not done any revision, cram away, do your thing. But hopefully you're in the group, guys. Hopefully you're in the group who has been revising. And if you are, then the best thing to do is either chill from now or do a little bit more revision and chill after, okay? That's going to be my advice. That's going to be my advice. I'm going to say hasta la vista for now. Oh, another little reminder for the Google reviews if you haven't already. So I don't want to say this at the end because it's not the main thing, but if you did hear about the Google reviews earlier, the link is in the chat. And if you haven't left one yet, then I would really appreciate it. Just because, yeah, it would help me out. It would help me out. On the other side, if people want me to keep doing the free live streams, that's going to be the only way I can do it. But more importantly, it would be nice just because it will help me out, to be honest. So you can either use the link in the description of this YouTube live. You can use the link in my bio on TikTok. You can also use the link that's pinned in this in the chat. And a couple of people are dropping it in the chat. So yeah, that would be amazing. And also, if you were considering it but you're feeling lazy, guys, it would really help me because 5 or 6 people tonight have left 1-star reviews just to try and troll, and it's pulled down the average significantly. So yeah, if we can do stuff to pull it back up, that would be amazing as well. But let me tell you, that's not the most important thing. Really, compared to tomorrow, the reviews don't matter at all. It's not a big deal. So the most important thing, guys, good luck for tomorrow. The final thing that we're going to do, is can everybody please find the 4-leaf clover emoji, and we're all going to spam it in the chat. We're going to spread good luck for tomorrow, okay? 4-leaf clover in the chat for me. Thank you, Arjun. Thank you, Tarun. Thank you, Autumn. Thank you, Jim Hazel. Thank you, George Leaf. Guys, let's get as many 4-leaf clover emojis in the chat as we possibly can. And this is a time where it's okay to spam. Guys, spam away. Copy and paste somebody's message who's put loads of them in and just spam the chat full of those 4-leaf clover emojis. Guys, we're spreading the good luck tonight to everybody inside the community. Okay, nice to see things popping off on the TikTok as well. Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much, Pepe, Jamala, Reese, George, Jim, Jamila, Autumn, GI, Daphne, Sharbiz, Pepe, George, Tabby. Guys, fantastic job this evening. It's going to be hasta luego from me. Adios. Arrivederci. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Guys, good luck for tomorrow. Please let me know how it goes. I'm going to make a video tomorrow. I'm kind of like an informal comment section where you can talk about the exam. But guys, all that's left to say is good luck for tomorrow. Give it your best shot. At the end of the day, you know what you know. You don't know what you don't know. Let's go in there and give it our all. Guys, a presto. See you either in the next live or wherever else. Guys, good luck and see you soon. Arrivederci.